Okay.
Welcome, 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 welcome. Yeah, that's my intro for Friday when I do talk about political talk, Democrats versus Republicans, things that are going on in America. Ladies and gentlemen, today is of all days. I'm getting right into it. We've seen what happened in the conviction of the Carmelo Anthony case. There also has been another case where a Chinese guy has been released of murder from locked up for 3 years for killing a little black kid at the age of 14 for supposedly stealing, but also having a gun on him. The reason why the store owner ran out. And the outrage and the uproar in the neighborhoods or in these black streets is a little bit ridiculous. I'm not finna sit up here and sugarcoat it. We got literally black people going up to white people, smacking around, beating them up for something that happened in a totally different state. You got people on TikTok talking about people with my ideology. We are coons, we're buffoons. uh, we need to be colonized, beaten, and put on a plantation because we don't understand the hurt and the struggles of what our ancestors been through. I'm gonna let Johnny pick up and go a little bit deeper into the problems that I don't understand, and I'm gonna debunk him and tell him how he's wrong.
Hold on,
Yo, what? What are you,
what
Caprice? What was that? What did you just say?
Go ahead,
but what do our ancestors have to do with it?
because Johnny was like Johnny has ex-
Sometimes we go down them rabbit holes.
Johnny
Sometimes we
has
be
explained.
walking and we fall in a rabbit hole somehow.
Johnny has explained to me and my audience several times that the root of the anger that we go through today is
Mhm.
from the pain and suffering of our ancestors.
That is so true.
That is not true.
That is so true. It may
That's
not be true for you,
no,
but
no. It's not true for me, but it shouldn't be true for nobody because like it's that has nothing to do with that happened. Whatever happened in the past. That does not affect how I go about my life. I do not
and
hold on
I
to
know
anything.
that's why I said it may not be for you, but for others that do struggle with it, you got to understand their pain.
If I'm gonna hate any race, I hate the black people because it's like it's okay. It's been so long, man. It's time for us to like wake up to to being black. Like we can say what we want, but how we act is different. The black communities are the worst communities in America. I'm from Chicago. That this nobody that ever harmed me was white. All the people that ever wanted to harm me and kill me were my color.
I'm not negating that. I'm not saying that. Um, for some, mind you, I'm saying for some, it is like that, right? For
Mm-hmm.
other, for people like you that grow up in those types of communities, I totally understand it. I grew up in that type of atmosphere, right? So yeah, I could totally understand, your perspective. But what I'm saying is we can't negate the fact that other people are still suffering from some of the
So you
for some of
are
the how can I say this? Some people are still suffering for some of the acts that took place,
how can
back then.
how can you agree that anybody 50 years and younger 50 years and younger has any type of aggression or seen any hurt or bigotry, anybody that's 50 and younger are part of some of the best generational outreaches and things that happen in America. 50 and under. Now I can damn near say 60.
Can I ask him something though? Can I ask something, Johnny? Give me an example of what you just said. Give me an example of why or how people are still suffering from things that happened all this time ago.
Well, depending on how you grew up, you know, some grandmas, great grands who are alive, who witnessed some of that, pass some of those teachings down. Hey, watch how you, talk around white people, or hey, white people may not uh accept you. You know what I'm saying? So you may hear some of that stuff. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily true, right? But they're just telling you from what they grew up and from what they witnessed, what they have gone through in life. So they're kind of like passing that down. And I mean, if you want to say it's their fault, you can. You can say, well, if they wouldn't be telling kids that, this stuff probably wouldn't be around. Well, then some may say, well, if it would have never happened, we wouldn't have nothing to talk about, right? So it's a matter of just being understanding of where people are and where they're hurting at, and understanding that nothing was done for them, to feel safe in America.
What percentage of America of black people do you think does not feel safe?
What percentage? I can't. I don't have I don't have a number in mind.
You don't have a number in your head, so I
Nah.
want you to guess and think. Like, if we had to hypothetically put a number together real fast on the runs, you know what I'm saying? What is that number of black people that you think are suffering in America from something that's? Go ahead.
I'll probably say like between 65 and 75%.
65 and 75%. Okay, sir, I'm gonna ask you this question too. It's gonna throw you off, but trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. What is percentage of America that you think does not have access to the internet?
Probably 15%.
Probably 15%. Okay. Stats shows that only 3% of American citizens all over America does not have internet. And the reason I bring that up, because you have to go smaller than that to find a percentage of somebody that's going to suffer from any harm that a KKK member has done to them here in America. I say that because of cell phones, cameras, social media instantly blow up. All it takes is one thing going viral and you're almost set for life.
Again, just because we can't talk about or have any showings of it now, that doesn't mean that it didn't happen in history. The KKK has a history of, doing things. And, nothing has even happened to them. You don't, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, have they been infiltrated by the FBI and
Shot, killed,
have
locked up?
they have? I may be wrong too. I mean, have they been infiltrated by the FBI? Have they, you know, have
Have they
been
been
labeled as
locked up?
have they been labeled as a terrorist group?
But
Um,
if
you know what
why
I'm
would
saying?
Why
I'm,
would you
I,
think they would label them a terrorist group?
why would you?
Yeah, why do you think they would do that?
I would say, why wouldn't they do that?
I would say the same thing, but just off what black people have been taught, the KKK and the CIA probably the same thing.
Right, and that's why I said America has
But
failed the black community.
right, but you know that they're a terrorist group. Yet you want them to acknowledge it themselves, so we can feel, so we can start the backlash. Like I know you, okay, I know y'all racist, but I need you to acknowledge it. No, we already know it. So why don't we just separate ourselves from the whole system?
I mean, yes, that makes logical sense. But in reality, if if America does not come to its senses and apologize at least or whatever, they're gonna be
Apologize for
black. Hold
what?
on, black people won't feel secure around them. And all I'm saying, if America wants black people to feel secure, this is just what you should do. That's all I'm saying.
Eda, you have anything to put on this? It's been 11 minutes. You haven't said anything.
Um, I would say that at this point it really don't matter. Not because, I don't feel people that didn't that went through it. But it's like that's in the past and we in it now. And it's like everything in the past isn't affecting us for real because I don't know nothing about what X, Y, and Z went through, and saying people that was for me went through. So I don't know nothing about it. Really. I saw it. I might see little pictures and videos of it, but that don't affect me for real. You feel me? Because I got my own problem that I'm worried about. So it's like, yes, we had racism events. Yes, we had events where it affected our, saying our lineage of people of being black, but that don't make us. You know what I'm saying? It don't make us like you. Okay, him being from Chicago and what he went through is what made him. Me being from New York and what I went through is what made me and what I had to go through. Not what the history of, what I'm saying, of what we saw and what we heard about. That don't affect me. Only time it affects somebody is their color based off everything, and there's no right or wrong for them, and it's just color, and that's a scary place to be.
I agree. On me, I agree with that.
I mean, I will push back a little bit and say, if yesterday doesn't matter, only today and tomorrow, then you know that means like anything that ever was done yesterday that was wrong, should just be abolished. Should just be done away
No,
with. Just forget about it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Johnny, I got
So,
I got something for that.
but
Hold on, I got
all I know you do. Hold on, but also, um, but also, like that's like telling a battered woman, a woman who was battered in her marriage, right? So you're telling a woman who was battered in her marriage, the woman being the black community, the man being America, who was battered by their husband, to forget about what happened. He's not gonna hit you anymore. Just forget about it and live and just be comfortable living around them. That's basically what you're saying. It's like, I mean, it got. I mean, that's what we got to tell battered women to men who saying that they're changed. They're no longer gonna put their hands on them. That's just the same concept. So
okay,
if you you can't tell, and this is just me saying this, answering it. You can't tell a battered woman not feel safe around them. It takes
Johnny.
time, and it's gonna take time. It's gonna take acts of kindness. It's gonna take a lot of things for that individual, that woman, to feel comfortable being around that man.
So
And if that man fails to do any of those things,
you look at the black community
you
as a
just
bad woman?
I look at yeah, definitely,
Okay, can I say that now?
definitely, I do. And you
Okay.
telling that battered woman to forget everything. They don't gotta. Oh, they don't owe you anything. Whatever you want to say. That's what you're telling that battered woman. Just
Okay, Johnny.
be, just,
What
just be
what
comfortable.
do
Like, come on.
okay, Johnny, what do Matthew 23 no Matthew 6:23 say, right? It says let tomorrow worry about tomorrow because today has enough troubles. What do you guys say about that, Johnny?
Okay, let me make my stance clear. Me personally, I don't struggle with this. Right? I don't.
Right.
I do not struggle with it. I do not struggle. I feel fine around white people. I could care less personally. But I'm talking for those who are not in my predicament, who are not in my shoes, and who don't feel comfortable. I'm telling you why they don't. I'm painting a picture for you to understand why they don't. So you can have some empathy towards them and understand, like, okay, I understand why. I understand what's going on. But for
How
me
long do we
personally,
gotta
I don't struggle
how
with
long
that.
do we gotta keep going through this, my
As
guy?
long as it
How
takes.
long?
No. See,
As
it's not
long
even
as it takes.
look
That's
because
Let
it's
me
crazy.
not
say
even
this. Let me say this. As long as Christ is working on you, that's how long.
right. But it's not saying we saying oh forget about yesterday. It's not necessarily that. It's the fact like it's been how many years we didn't even learn from yesterday. We didn't even learn from yesterday. So it's not we're not saying forget the past. We just saying we can't hold on to this no more. It's time to move forward. We can't use you can't use that as an excuse no more. Oh, these people don't like me. That's not an excuse no more.
See, and
I
and
can't say that.
when you say the word excuse, you know,
A lot of things are excuse. I ain't
it,
gonna lie. A lot of things are
it's
excuse.
not an excuse. It's their reason, right? That's their this it's not an excuse, it's a reason. And I think, to be honest,
That's like saying
the only
that's like
freedom
you
they gonna
telling.
find personally is in Christ.
Okay,
But as
Johnny,
far
cool.
as
That's
but
like
as
you
far as
saying,
where they are now, no,
Johnny,
that's not that's a reason. That's not an excuse.
Johnny. That's like you saying. That's like the Lord telling you to forgive whoever wronged you, whether he was black or white. But let's say it's a white person and he just spit on your shoe, and you said, "Oh, he spit on my shoe." He called me an N word, but you give the Lord an excuse and say because he did X, Y, and Z to me, I can't forgive. That's an excuse because what he did, you can't forgive. But the Lord told you to do something. It told you to let it go. But you gave him the excuse of why you can't. I'm just saying.
Again, I can't place
You can't
myself again. I cannot place myself in their shoes.
you didn't answer the
They
question, but it's cool. I'm just
I
gonna
just
let you
answered
talk.
it. I can't place myself in their shoes. Meaning this. I can't tell them what to do, how to do it, how to recover, how to heal, because they're not me. At the end of the day, they're just healing. And sometimes it looks ugly. But at the end of the day, you got to understand, we weren't given the proper tools to heal. So we're
But
trying to
you,
figure this thing
hold
out. They trying
on,
to figure this
Johnny,
thing out on their
Johnny,
own.
Johnny.
They trying to figure it
It's
out on their own. So, so they
You
doing
playing
the
devil
best.
advocate way
They
too
doing
hard,
Johnny,
the
bro.
best they can.
You
Johnny,
playing devil advocate way too hard. This ain't looking good for you, my guy. I ain't gonna lie.
my guy. It's crazy that you got other people up here. We're all from different backgrounds. We're all from different ages and stuff like that, right? We're all different. And we're all up here not playing a victim's mentality for something that did not happen. And we each broke down how we acknowledge the past. So we understand that white men once had a whip and a belt and beat and hit and hung the black community. It was wrong. But also, in the same time, while that was happening, it was a white man that was like, damn, we shouldn't do that to the black community. Okay? So we're acknowledging that that happened. We're acknowledging that white people seen it too, and they stopped it. 1776, Abraham Lincoln Accords, whatever law, whatever time you want to pick in history. Okay? Moving forward, it is 2026. We have a black community that is corrupting crime, being agents of chaos, being part of the EBT community that makes us look bad. And we're saying enough is enough. We can't come up here and cry victimhood for a kid at the age of 17 that wanted to commit murder and say, hey, I'm just going to run to Black Lives Matter because all of a sudden Black Lives Matter. That's what we're saying. That's what you're hearing on every group. And then only people that you hear these pushback are people that are like, no, the white man. But when you sit up here and you ask them personally, hey, what did they do to you? Oh, I ain't going through that. I'm not broke. I got a car. I got a crib. I got joints on my feet. I smoke Newports. I'm doing all of this. But then when you call it out, oh, but you staying with somebody. Who are you? You voted for Trump. And then you go to the victimhood, racism, and which I would love to, and I'm just gonna say this, the boogeyman. And that's what I'm gonna keep calling it. Because y'all point at a person, place, or thing that does not exist. Did it used to? Everybody up here is gonna say yes, it used to. Okay? That's a big difference.
I wouldn't even say it used to because I don't know. I was born in 1990. All I know is what I experienced and just the logic behind it. See how they making black people think white people racist now? What if they was doing that to the black people back in the day? What if it was reversed? Making the white
Wait, so
people
you 26?
36.
You said 1990? Oh,
Yeah.
no, my fault. I thought you said 99. My fault.
I'm just saying, black people trust all the, like, you want to defund the police, all type of things that don't make sense.
You want to get rid of the FBI. You want to get rid of the CIA. You want to get rid of the government. You want to get rid of the presidency. You want to get rid of the college electoral. You want to get rid of Christianity.
But ultimately, I'm just saying, black people just need to look in the mirror and see why their communities are bad. Because it ain't white people sliding, doing drills in the hood. It ain't white people.
You know, it's crazy because, like, you know, to know the history of where they came from and what led to all this stuff, you know, will be very helpful, you know. But at the end of the day, like, am
What
I,
part you want to learn about?
huh?
What part we want to go over? What critical part in history is the foundation start that you want to start at?
We can start with the main one, slavery.
Slavery.
Slavery. Oh, I got a lot to say about that. Never mind.
So the 1600s, right?
When was slavery? I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't believe it happened the way they say it did. That's just me
I
Hey,
personally.
mean,
bro,
I get that. You weren't
what's your name?
there.
What's your name, bro? What's your name, bro?
You weren't there, so
Yeah,
you don't know. You can only hear stories. You
right.
know,
But the
so
same
I
people say,
understand.
but the same people that write the history books is it's the same people that's the police. It's the same people that's the government. It's all the ops giving us our history. All the white people giving us our history.
And you can't trust black people either because they probably gonna lie to you, right?
I can't trust nobody. The race don't matter.
That's sad. That's so sad, brother. That is so sad.
It's not sad. I'm gonna tell you why it's not sad. Because at the
Super
end of the
sad,
day,
man.
hold on. I'm gonna tell you why it's not sad, Johnny. It's not sad because you have to have good discernment and you have to try the spirit by the spirit, try the person by the person. Because at the end of the day, when you talk to somebody, you and the way you add things up, you will know if you're lying or not. If you know how to add and you know how to, what I'm saying, how to have critical thinking of what's going on in the history
Yeah, what was
of
back
the events
then?
that's going on.
Strings.
You said what?
I said the devil was back there pulling strings.
You feel me? So it's like it's and the good thing that I heard before, Kafish, the devil is always in the details. So
Mm-hmm.
if you go further enough, you're gonna go in a circle. But if you understand what their truth is, that should be enough for you.
I'm gonna read y'all a Bible verse as to why I have a stance towards you know, the black community, um, and as far as the hurt and pain that they had to endure. I'm gonna read Proverbs 31 verses I'll just read 8 and 9. It says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy.
What's the context of what that was talking about?
The context of it is talking about a king and him ruling. Even before you want to go up to it,
A king and how he should rule over
and
his
how he
people.
should rule. Yes.
And don't forget about nobody, the ins and outs, the crumbs, the little people, the big people, the middle class people. Don't forget about nobody in your society if you want to be a king or a ruler over land.
Yeah, that's not what it's saying here. Right here, it's saying to basically speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, right? For the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. It even goes up further where it says, verse 4, it says, is it not for kings to mill? Is it not for kings to drink? Oh, it says, it is, I don't got my glasses, forgive me. It says, it is not for kings to drink wine, not for rulers to crave beer, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed, and deprive all the oppressed of their rights. Then it goes to say, let beer be for those who are perishing, wine for those who are in anguish. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. Speak
Right,
up
but
for
that's not
those. Hold
right. But
on.
but, but now you just reading because now that's like out of context of what you trying to get
Then
to.
it goes in to say, speak up for those who
I ain't gonna
cannot
lie.
speak for themselves. That's from verse 4 to 9. Then it goes in to say, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up
So who do
and
you
judge
think?
fairly.
Who do
Defend the
you think?
rights of the poor and the needy.
But who do you think can't speak for them?
Who do I think can't speak for themselves?
Yeah,
Yes.
Those who don't got the strength to.
Strength.
the strength.
The- yeah, those who don't
This,
got the strength to.
you feel me? I said to say the same thing like the strength. Yo, okay. Well,
Strength,
Um,
strength. I say strength instead of strength.
I'm that maybe people don't want to speak up for themselves.
I
Maybe they
wouldn't
can't
say that. I wouldn't say that.
because
Some
they
people
got
hey,
the
just
bro.
strength.
can't. I
We in
wouldn't
the
say
age
they
where everybody
do.
got a
Okay.
phone.
So
But Johnny, we in the age where everybody got a phone.
That doesn't mean
Everybody has a
anything.
mic.
That
okay.
doesn't
It
So
means
mean
a lot though.
anything.
hold
That
It
on,
means a
doesn't
lot though.
that doesn't
hold
mean anything.
gentlemen. From that context of what you're saying, and this is, people are getting what they're getting out of it. And I'm going to do the same thing for speaking up for those who are little, those who are in need, those who doesn't have the strength to speak up to get those small things they need in life. We do speak up for those. This is why you hear this cry out that we're tired of us um, playing victimhood and glorifying thugs and people that commit crime. These people like George Floyd, these people like Carmelo Anthony, these little kids like Mike Brown, these little kids should not be put on a pedestal. Shameful of what they did, shameful of what the outcome has came out to. I don't want nobody to be dead in these streets, shot down like a dirty dog in the street. But yet again, when we actually got people that's actually out here doing hard work, trying to do the right thing, that's not looking for no type of credibility, they're just out here actually doing the right thing,
Mm.
cleaning up neighborhoods, going knocking on doors like, hey man, I ain't seen your son in the school in a while, I ain't seen your son around my son, or his kids okay.
Or even if the teachers like doing that, like you know what I'm saying? Like yeah.
Just a simple, and that's something I seen out here in Nevada that shocked me because yet again, I didn't have a kid in the school system until my son got into the school system. And then the teacher personally called. I felt
Wow.
like, dang, here's a teacher out of 9 classes, here's one teacher that's calling with the concerns and like, hey, I just think we need to sit down and have a discussion about you and your child because what I see him going down and where he's from is just because of this. She's been down this road before. She's seen these steps. These are things, these are people that need to be picked out of big ass haystack, a needle that needs to be put forward. A person that I always advocate for is Brandon Johnson, an advocate for Florida senator, that he's another good person who hasn't done wrong, who's a black man in suit in Congress, does right, pulls himself up by the bootstrap. There are a lot of ways that we have been crying out, speaking up for the little people, doing the right things, marching. But we got this bad apple. And you know how they say a bad apple don't mess up a tree. Well, sir, we're trying to tell you right now, we have a whole acre of that shit, of bad shit. And it's starting to grow in a nuisance in America to where we're asking for solutions. White people are going to be starting to ask for solutions because they're not going to be tired of getting put in positions to where they keep getting the finger point at them and say, hey, we're to blame for something. No, we're not to blame for something. Our daddies, our parents taught us better than that. That's why we was able to hang out with you in high school. We forget about that. All of a sudden, when a white cop kills a black cop, we forget about our school friend. We forget about that time we ran the stop sign and that cop looked at us and he just blurted us, but didn't pull us over.
Right.
We forget about those moments, and then we thought, oh, it's slave. Go ahead.
I think just from my experience from my life, I think black people just care about the wrong things in life. Like we can get mad about this Carmelo Anthony thing, but it's something happening in every neighborhood nobody know about, and nobody gonna make no noise about it. Little kids dying and shit. There's other things closer to home that black people need to focus on first.
Nah, that's real.
May I say something? I totally get where y'all coming from. It's just the means of the method, right? We all want to help our community. We all want our community to be better, to do better. We all want that, and we can all agree on that. It's just the means of how we get to that destination is different, right? Me, you guys are going to scrutinize me. Why? Because I'm desiring to go the more loving, compassionate route. You guys are going the more hateful route. That's just being honest. You guys are using that.
Huh?
You guys are using hate, anger, frustration to lead the way, to lead what's coming out of your mouths as to why black people got to get better. And I
I
totally get
What?
that. And it comes from a place of knowing that black people do need to get better. It's
but
coming
it's
from
not
the
hate
same
though.
place.
It's not
But
hate. It's
but
truth.
no 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 no.
Whoa, yo,
No,
John, you
it's
good,
not.
bro?
It's
Is you
not
alright?
truth. The reason
It's
why
true.
the reason why listen, and let me say this.
No way, you talking like
The
this.
reason why is I'm saying the method, right? The method as to how we're gonna get better is different. What you saying, how you feeling, as far as like how they gotta get better, how the black community gotta stop shooting, all that stuff is true. You're
Right.
not saying nothing that's not true, right? But
You're
it's the
correct.
means of how we're gonna get there, how we're gonna get better. And sometimes to get better, to get right, you gotta go back a little bit to figure out what led up to all this stuff. That's all I'm saying. And if
But
we
with,
do that, we can lead with a little bit more compassion and
but
knowing that
with,
okay, these things are not right, but also we need some time to help. Yo, y'all gotta sit down. Yo,
That's
y'all
carnal
gotta chill.
thinking. I
Yo,
ain't gonna lie,
y'all,
bro.
you
That's
know what I'm
carnal
saying?
thinking.
None of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
have
no,
carnal.
if I need to get better, I don't look nowhere but in the mirror if I want to get better and be honest about the situation. If
Right.
I'm a crackhead, I gotta look in the mirror and say, you a crackhead before I even get better. It starts with in the community. We got these ideas like, oh, like it's the white people fault, but all I see is the black on black crime, kids killing kids. Just in Chicago, a 13-year-old boy shot two teenagers the other day in Chicago. A 13-year-old boy. That's not the white people fault.
Mm.
That's not the white people fault. We just need to be honest about the whole situation. Then we can move forward. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's out of reach. We all would love to do it. But it is truth that living in a suburban white neighborhood is more safer than living in a black neighborhood. Why is that? Because it's not the white people sliding in Chicago doing drills and then rapping about it and making money. So now it's popular. So now we got a whole nother generation of it. That's not white people's fault, man. We got to look in the mirror.
Then I would
John.
say to that point, it's it's like okay, if I'm at work and I see everybody frustrated about what's going on, and they feel like the workload is too much, and they get paid not getting paid less. They get paid less, and it's like it starts with me to showing up and showing them why we deserve X, Y, and Z, and then going to whoever is the top to talk to them about it, depending on my stature in that job force, right? But if I'm the little person like Johnny said, and I don't have a voice, so I talk to somebody that does have a voice, but it takes me to step up and say something and make that change. Starts with me first. If you want to see the change, you gotta start with yourself first of what you can do, because you can't go and point the finger out to somebody else if you're not doing nothing about it yourself.
Mm.
Johnny.
again, I'm just giving y'all the reasons as to why they feel the way they feel. The black community, why they struggle, why they go through whatever they go through. It's up to y'all to judge, right? I mean, I can't convince y'all of having compassion on nobody. I can't do that. Right? You got to find that within yourself first.
Wait, so you
Um,
saying just
And
have
you
compassion about somebody that a black person
Approached
that
shores of
going to jail
Virginia.
for killing somebody else?
I mean, if you can't have compassion, um, You know,
Whoa,
you
whoa,
gotta
Kafish,
find
Kafish,
that.
did you hear the same thing?
Gotta find
Hold
that for
on, Kafish,
yourself.
Kafish, Kafish, Kafish. Please tell me you heard that. Please tell me you heard that. That's okay.
Yeah, still find compassion for that person. If you can't, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. You don't want to. If you don't want to have compassion on others, you don't have to. I'm not saying you do.
It's not that
Okay,
we don't have compassion,
so
because
No,
you
that no, no,
showing
no, 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 no. You don't. Y'all don't have
so
compassion. This is to be
yes,
the
I
so
honest to
do.
God's truth.
have we
Y'all
have
don't.
we
Y'all don't got. You don't.
you saying we don't, but then we showing you we have admitted to you in so many different ways that we understand the past. So we're acknowledging the past,
That's
right?
called having sympathy, right? Not empathy.
I'm sitting here telling you some real truth. That's enough. That's
When
enough compassion for me.
That's
when
not compassion,
our,
bro. That's it
our
may be enough for you. You're
compassion,
right. That may be enough for you. You're right. What you said was
our
exactly right.
compassion,
That may be all the compassion you got, and it's
Johnny,
okay. That's okay.
Johnny, Johnny,
What's up?
our compassion is the fact that we grew up hearing the same exact stories that everybody else heard, okay? And we seen for ourselves and we learned for ourselves that those people that did this, that's on the screen right now, are not around. So instead of getting angry and want to beat these people up and hang them to the cross and do all the stuff that you feel that justifiable and equal to how they treat our ancestors, we like, hey, we might as well get along with them, make money with them, grow in our society with them, grow in our communities with them. Hey, now we got a little bit of success. Now what we're talking about now is the problem is this longevity money, which now we can invest in stock markets. We're starting to learn about stock markets and we're buying land, property, we're able to rent. This is generational wealth that we're building now that white people been had. That's the big cry. But instead of the big cry, we should just keep building while the opportunities build for the white people. Like, you know what? They're smart. They're starting to do it. Let's stop them for buying land, being alchemy, getting into stock. You know, stuff that can actually stop us from getting generational wealth. Things that can actually stop us from growing as a nation. Stopping us from having sex and reproducing babies here in America. Stuff that can really stop us. Those are things that you would hear us have an outroar for the black community, like government, no, stop. We won't you, we will not allow for you to do that in our communities if that was happening. If you was really stopping us from voting because you gerrymandered the maps a little bit, you know what I'm saying? If there was really a threat, bro, we will be out there really marching. Seriously. Making that change. Like, no, no, white people don't, no, 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 no. That's not a real threat. Because our real threat is telling our little nappy headed ass kids, stop killing each other so we can grow more than 13% in a fucking population. That would be the smartest, brightest, and sympathy that we're trying to do. Because we're working these jobs, we're getting beat over our backs every day. So our kids can go create businesses, not work at McDonald's. Save McDonald's for whoever wants to work at McDonald's. But if you don't want your nappy headed, brown headed, non speaking English, can't read kid to not work at McDonald's, that's where you was coming in as a parent and working those ugly ass jobs so your kids can build a business, get in tech, AI, stock, real estate, bricklayer, electrician.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Man, you know what's crazy? You know what's the worst part of the black community is that they can't admit that they the bad guys and they be in the wrong and they don't think logically. That's the worst part. That's why people getting tired now. You know,
Because now we got cameras and we got people like Capiche and the Burn Live Show, and we got all these other podcasters that's
no,
calling it
crazy.
out.
It's crazy. Like they holding themselves back and they want to blame other people. It's
And think about this. Let me move this because I'm done with this. Think about this. Black influencers, for as really on YouTube and Rumble and stuff, are what? Conservative black. You don't see no Democratic black. You don't see no race hustlers no more. Why? Because it's getting played out. It's getting tiresome. You got people who actually have done bad. They're like, man, I ain't doing bad no more, dog. I wouldn't mind being a janitor. I wouldn't mind being a bus driver. I wouldn't mind doing this. I wouldn't mind doing that simple little job because yet again, it's $30 an hour, $23 an hour. Better than going out on the streets, seeing people steady trying to hustle. Oh man, they can't build a case on me. Yeah, right, because they know the law. And that's where we get into the intelligence parts of a person. I don't play nobody stupid. If a person out here can sell dope, you can start a fucking business.
Again, you guys got sympathy, right? But y'all don't got no empathy.
Hi.
Especially for the black community. Y'all don't have any empathy. You got
Bro, you're
sympathy.
more black than Christian, bro. That's crazy.
You got sympathy. No, I'm sticking up. Only thing is, I'm sticking up for the
That's
pain and the
crazy.
hurt that they have. Now, if you can't see that, that's just on you. But as far as what they go through and the pain and hurt that they got, yeah, I'm going to stick up and defend that. That's how I would for anybody that's in trouble or despair. But at the end of the day, you got to start with having empathy. If you don't have empathy, you can't understand, you can't put yourself in their shoes, nor could you care for another individual without having empathy. You could have sympathy. You can, you know, care that, oh yeah, I see what you're going through, but it's still not right. You know what I mean? And I get that. I totally get that. But at the end of the day, I just have a little
do
bit
you?
more compassion.
So you think we was just born thinking this way, or you think we had to experience being a part of what most black people believe? I used to think the same thing. We was all taught the same thing.
Well, no. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. I believe whatever is relative to you is your truth. That's what I believe. Well, if it's from hearing you talk and everything, it's all about your experience and all that. It's not about anybody else's, right? It's all about yours. That's where you lack the empathy because you can't put yourself in nobody else's shoes. You can only look from the lens of things that you experience yourself.
Because I went through the same stuff
Because
that
that's
they
and
went
it's
through.
crippling. So I don't think you have. I don't think you have.
What?
That's what. No,
Name,
I mean,
name,
if you did,
name
what I'm saying is
something.
this:
No.
if
Do
you
me a
did
favor. Name something that you think that I haven't been through that's a black struggle.
a black struggle, name something.
Crickets.
Name something. I can name something right now. I will name something right now for you. The
Name.
empathy right now. The struggle that you lack right now is the empathy that you don't have for people that are
No
going through
way.
what they're going
See
through.
this?
Yo, why is he doing this?
You're proving my point exactly. For the
And you're
simple
proving
fact
my
that
point
you
because you're
cannot
making it
name.
relative to just you. It's all about your
It's not about.
perspective.
It's
It's
about that you can't name something that you would think that is a struggle. That like, yeah, capiche. He ain't been through that because he will understand what it takes to go through and to get out of that. He ain't never been through that.
It's not about that. It's not about that's the problem. This is what I'm saying. It's not about going through a struggle. It's not about going through X, Y, and Z. It's about putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and saying, huh, you know what? I can see why you would think that. I can see how that can cripple you. I can see how that can make you feel the way you feel. That's what it's about. You don't have to you don't have to experience it yourself. I'm saying have some empathy and try to look at it from their point of view.
We do
Get
look at it
yourself
from that
out of
point of
it.
view.
Because if you
We
do that, then
do.
that shows you got compassion. But right now, it's just showing you got sympathy.
We do look at it from that point of view. We do take a step out. I'm like, damn,
Right.
I just want to stand out here and just get some drugs. I just want to put some drugs in my system. I don't care about paying taxes. I don't care about none of that stuff. Just want to get some drugs. Okay. I have took myself out of my place of understanding and working hard. Just want to do some drugs. I have took myself out of my shoes and said, damn, I just don't care about what people think. I just want to go around here and just be agents of chaos. I just want to sell drugs. I just want to do drugs. I just want to do whatever the hell I want to do because it's my life and that's how I feel.
See, from my point of view, it's not just from my perspective. It's just my experience. But like I've had neighbors. I got 5 brothers and sisters, so it's just not my experience. Like if my neighbor went through something, I went through it with him because that was my neighbor. You know, so it's not like I can't put myself in other people's shoes. That's part of the,
Not like I had a neighbor who had 5 kids, barely nothing to eat, but she thugged it through. And I used to steal stuff from my mama's house and sneak it over there to the crib and make sure they ate because they was the homies. Like I never felt bad. Like I ain't never snuck my friend in my crib because he didn't have a place to stay. And I'm like, dog, you can sleep in my closet.
All right.
Again, you're going off of experiences, right? If you have to be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, right?
Seen people go through that. So I
Yeah,
understand.
you're seeing it, right? I'm saying things that you can't tangibly see, things that you didn't tangibly go through. Look at it from their point of view. That's what I'm saying. You know, and that's what I'm saying. It's
And
about
I
having empathy.
said, name something. Just name something.
Name what?
Yet again, name a black struggle. That's something that somebody go through that's unbelievable that can't be relatable.
Okay, have you gone through slavery?
Yet again, no.
I'm asking you a question. Have you gone through slavery? I
And
haven't.
I
Have
haven't
you?
either. No.
Okay. Can you understand how a slave may have felt back then and having to go through what they go through, seeing their daughters raped, or they may even being raped, they possibly being mutilated, being separated from their homes? Can you put yourselves in nations and maybe see how that would have made you feel? And then
Yeah.
think about how you would teach your children as soon as they say you're free to act after you just gone through all that. Then think about the generations of how it may have led up to where you are now. Just thinking about things like that. It's like, wow, you know what? I could totally understand why some people, I'm not saying all, some people are still crippled. I can understand why we are probably in the worst predicament we are in right now because we haven't gotten the best start. There's communities is nothing but crabs in the bucket, that's all it is. People in the city, crabs in the bucket. Every black person trying to outbeat the next. They trying to climb out of the struggle that they in. Even if they gotta pull another brother down, if they gotta do it, they gonna do it. Even if they gotta shoot, rob, they gonna do it. Even if they gotta sell drugs to your grandma, they gonna do it. Does that make it right? No, but you know what? I can understand just because of all these past events that led up to where we are now. You know, something has to change. And the only thing that I believe that can change that is if America, mind you, I say America,
So you
ha-
take no credibility for over the past years since 1619 all the way to 2026. 250 anniversary of America that has nothing changed to better the black community at all. None of these black people who has been successful, who has made a difference, who has actually touched the White House, not in handcuffs, the freedom, the choice, the want to go, the freedom, the choice of not having to go if they don't want to, the tweeting of I don't today, the freedom that we have, the choices to say that, ringing out on every TikTok corner, every YouTube black page here in America, in Congress. We had a woman named Jasmine Crouch who made a name for herself doing that proudly. We rang her name in bells. We made videos, constant videos about her doing that proudly as a black woman. So I'm saying to understand that once upon a time, truly in history, where we was once slave and our ancestors did some horrible things in life. You know, white people did horrible things to our ancestors in life. I get that. I'm truly saddened for that. I get tears in my eyes thinking about that. But then you gotta really, truly, 100% look around and say, damn, it's not those times today. I have to thank God for the blessings that He has blessed me with here in America. Because if we look at any other country that's going today in today's society, it doesn't look all peaches and cream. People are still trying to come over here to America, even though we went through all of this that's going on right now.
you want to know
Carmelo,
something, bro?
what's up?
I had therapy today, right?
Uh-huh.
My therapist, she's German. She's German, straight from Germany, right? You know what? You know, because I saw this little thing on Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube, and they were talking about Juneteenth. It was a little funny joke. It was a little joke. It was kind of funny to me, but I brought it up in therapy. It was talking about, Juneteenth and how, nobody got to work and, pay holiday, whatever. And I told her about the joke. And the joke was, um, what if white people still had to work on Juneteenth? and and they had to work overtime and not get paid, and then they'll probably know how slavery felt. That was a joke, right? And I brought it up, and it was kind of funny. She started laughing, and she was like, "Yeah, that's not a bad idea." I was like, "No, that's not a good idea. No, we throw that idea out." But at the end of the day, she was like, I'm from Germany. In our country, we do not like how America has dealt with African Americans. They say that they said from the history standpoint, they do not agree with it. And they said that black Americans deserve better treatment, but they also deserve some form of repayment. That's coming from Germany, her country.
Okay. And I think that we would get something like that if we just showed.
Oh, we gotta be good to get it right. Right, right, right.
I'm not even necessarily show goodness, just Show
We
them.
got to sit down with our legs crossed, hands in our lap, hands folded together, asking them please to give us something for how you mistreated us. Yeah, that's what we got to do, right? That's what You know, that's not no, brother. At the end of the day, I don't care what state we in.
You
If
know how you,
I don't care,
Johnny,
and I listen,
Johnny. You
I
notice
could
how you
care
cut
less.
me
Listen,
off,
if
Johnny,
Trump got
Johnny,
caught killing
Johnny,
somebody,
Johnny.
go ahead.
You know it's beautiful how you cut me off. That was wonderful.
My bad, my
That's
bad, my
not what I
bad,
was going to say. That was. See, you that that
my bad. I'm sorry, my bad. Forgive me, please.
you know
I was just going on the rant, My bad.
you're upset because of our black community and what you feel like we deserve. And if we deserve that, one day it will happen. And it's going to happen in the grace of whoever gives it to us. Instead of wanting a handout and fighting it, not even the right way.
Can I say something, Capiche, right quick?
Hold on, let me finish.
Go ahead, go ahead, go
Because
ahead.
once upon a time, we used to fight for those things the right way. And then we just stopped because we wanted to get corrupted because we seen like, oh, we got to fight fire with fire. But only people that gets burnt in the same circumstances is the poor. And that's the reflect that we be screaming about from the mountaintops to the hill valleys. Is if you're gonna fight fire with fire, make sure the poor don't get burnt. Now go ahead.
Like for me, I'm coming from a place that's unbiased, right? Like I said, like hold on, baby, hold on. Like me personally, my life and my interactions with white people, I have never, I can't remember having a poor interaction with a white person. Even growing up, had white friends. I grew up, in the suburbs a little bit, and then my mom moved out back into the ghetto. But never had too many troubles. But I have people that called me friends that stole from me, my same complexion and everything. So like, I'm not, and I'm not saying that's the reason why I am who I am today and why I think what I think today. What I'm saying is I'm coming from a place that's unbiased, right? I'm not saying that's like we deserve something, right? Yes, I am a black man, but I am not using the resentment and anger that the community has towards white people as the fuel as to how we should go about getting what is due to them, right? And mind you, I'm even saying them. I'm speaking from a different person's point of view because I'm looking at their hurt and I'm looking at their pain. I'm not looking at mine. I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at theirs. I'm understanding theirs, right? So that's the place that I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a place that's personal. That's why I'm looking in the mirror. Because if it was me, I would be saying, nah, bro, that ain't right. We got to do better. Because at the end of the day, we do. That's how I talk to myself. But I know everybody is not Johnny. And I can't treat everybody like Johnny. So I got to look at them and love them where they are. And right now, that's just all that I'm doing. I'm looking at my community from a different lens and trying to love them the best way I can from where I am now. And that's understanding their hurt and their pain and understanding that and understanding their history, knowing that we haven't gotten, the best foot forward in this country, right? That's me understanding that. And that's me saying that there has to be a change. And when I brought up the KKK earlier, I really wanted to even talk about some of the quote unquote black extremist movements. Now, some of them were, and who knows, they may had ideas to overthrow the government, right? That may have been in there. But at the end of the day, as soon as black people want to start doing something, it's always some people coming around trying to see what's going on. I don't know why. Who knows? I haven't experienced it. I got to do some more thinking about that. So, but just from the outside looking in, that's what I'm experiencing. But as far as me, I'm coming from a place that's unbiased. I'm not placing myself within the black community. Although I've come out of the black community, that's not my identity. right? I'm looking at my people, I'm looking at them and saying, well, you know what? That's what they're going through. That's what they are experiencing. Right? Me, I'm not experiencing that. I'm totally free. I'm fine. But as far as them, that's what they're experiencing.
So why don't we just sue?
I mean,
Sue
that
'em.
that's a great idea.
Just throw a little lawsuit on out there, civil court. You know what I'm saying? Racist versus racism versus blacks.
You know what's crazy? I'm a you want to know what's crazy? My pastor, a lawyer. He's a lawyer. Like he went to law school. He didn't. Okay, so he got his Juris Doctorate in law, but he did
Um,
not take the bar exam. So because he has his Juris Doctorate in law, he can still work on the law firm. He can still give advice. He can still sit in on some of the Zoom court meetings, but he can't physically go in and pass and like surpass the bar and like represent someone in that way. But he can do all the other stuff. He got access to court records, whatever the case may be. But he got his Juris Doctorate, but he just didn't go and pursue the bar exam. So I could possibly talk to him, see what he say or whatever.
see about the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Okay. E-Dub, you got anything to say?
I don't know what you're talking about right now. My bad. My phone cut off.
Same. Hey, we ain't went no. We ain't went nowhere. We
You
ain't
talking about
went no.
the kid that stabbed the white guy?
Well, that too.
Okay,
Basically,
so
that.
so you're talking about racism then.
Yeah.
And Johnny
Because my
is talking
lawyer,
about
hey, I got a black lawyer that broke it down. He said, hey, Metcalf now should go ahead and sue Anthony for the money that they raised.
he don't got no money to get sued for.
Yeah, bro, they raised 500,000.
I think it was 600.
Oh,
They raised 600,000 for him. Good God.
just to
Yeah,
get him out of jail? Just to bond him?
just to get a lawyer.
Oh Lord, oh.
That was from a
I mean,
GoFundMe.
we seen worse in America. We seen people that shoot up schools and churches get bonded out, what I'm saying, to jail. So it ain't no surprise. I mean, 600,000 ain't even really nothing. People raise millions for others. But
Hey,
that is still a lot of money now. I ain't saying that ain't nothing.
Yeah,
That's
600,
that's
bro,
crazy. You know,
for a family to raise off a GoFundMe.
that's crazy.
That is, you don't have, well, man.
we ain't got no tape. That pocket's all right.
But my thing is, if you raise up that much, it ain't going toward the Lord now. Now it's like, okay, I got this much. I'm about to try to facilitate it in my family now because we raised this type of stuff. So it's like at that point, it ain't really going to the Lord no more because who really gonna give that much to that one person because they want to see their son free or they want to see something happen, knowing that he did wrong.
They probably got a free lawyer. Shoot,
They had to.
somebody probably volunteered to want to be on the case. You
And
know?
see, if anything like that happens, that gives the chance for the opposition team to counter sue in the civil court because you raised money against my child and called him and blamed him this and all this, and look what happened. Kid was a murderer, 35 years.
Could I ask something real quick?
Yep.
So, at what point do we ask, do we do emotional intelligence matter? Do understanding that you have control over if somebody slights you or disrespects you, at what point do you think it's ever cool or to have empathy for somebody to go from, oh, you look dirty to bet I'm gonna stab you? That's just a question. Like how why is that possible?
Yeah, me
To
personally, I don't know too much about the case. I'm not even saying
I'm gonna ask this
I
question
mean, I
here.
don't know too much about what's going on, but I can still have empathy for him. Like, man, I hope he kind of get his mind right, or you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, he do something that will help him deal with whatever is gonna be down the road for him. Yeah, I can have that kind of empathy
I
for him.
hope he
I mean, like,
changes.
oh,
You know what I'm saying? I hope
okay,
he.
okay.
I can
Now
understand. I
if
can
you would have
even
came like that,
probably
Johnny, if you would have came like that the first time, I would have understood you.
hold
But
on,
you,
wait. You may be mad. Don't speak too soon. I could probably still have empathy for him in the moment, right? Of how he probably would have, of how he reacted, and did what he did. I could put myself in his shoes and be like, man, I probably would have did the same thing if
as a
if I
Christian,
was
you
him.
say this?
I mean,
Hold on,
you acting like you never sinned before. You know what I'm saying? You acting like you never made a mistake. I mean, people make mistakes. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't put anything past nobody, right? And not even myself, So at the end of the day, I will understand that. Now, would I say it's acceptable? No. But would I understand? Okay, yeah, probably what he's gone through, probably his upbringing. I probably would have. Okay, I can understand that, but I
I
don't mean it's
hopefully
right.
he hopefully, and I understand where Johnny come from. That this kid did what he did at the moment, not understanding the true consequences. Now seeing the
You feel me?
consequences.
But that's part of what makes it worse because it's bad for everybody involved. Both sides, they kids. A kid died, and now another kid got to spend the rest of his life in jail, at least 35 years. So it's definitely bad on both sides. It's definitely unfortunate, but we
35, but one kid that has a chance of getting out and still starting a life.
Yeah,
yeah,
he may even do half of that
no,
35.
no, I
He may
understand it.
get like 18 or something.
Yeah, and I still wish him the best too. Hope he learned from this situation. Like you just can't go around stabbing people, man.
And 18, boy, if he get bored, now
I
that
don't think he was going around stabbing people now.
I'm
I
no,
just
mean,
he
yeah, you
saying.
can't. I mean, he made a ruthless decision, and however many seconds he may have had. So you know what I'm saying. At the end of the
Right,
day, I made decisions that was split second
right,
that was
but
stupid. You know what I mean?
right.
So
He made a decision you can't come back from. Somebody died. That was the type of decision he made.
sure, I put a knife out on my cousin before. You know what I'm
But
saying?
this,
Because my
you ain't
sister was
stabbing.
like, all
But
because
you
my
ain't.
sister said she was scared. And I was about to stab him up if he would have moved closer. And mind you, I'm only what, 13 years old. That was my thought. That was my thought pattern. Right. So like I'm not putting nothing past nobody. I don't know how I will react in certain moments. And it's okay. But
Man,
at the end of the day, I hope and pray that God does not lead me into a place of that. And I pray that I don't react in that kind of way either. But at the end of the
wait, wait,
day,
wait, 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 wait. You said hope that God don't lead you to that.
yeah, will not lead me in a
You probably
situation like that.
you
Yeah.
probably probably misspoke. You might probably misspoke or something like that. But like if you got the Holy Spirit, bro, that don't lead you to nothing that's
I
wrong.
mean, are
It's
you
always
familiar
something
with the
right.
Lord's
Like
Prayer? Are you familiar with the Lord's
like
Prayer?
like
When
at the
Jesus
end
told
of,
his
at the end of the
disciples,
day, Johnny, if you got the Holy Spirit that dwells in you, then it would not unction you to do anything that's against the will that the Spirit has.
okay, have you ever heard of John Elliott?
That's
Right.
not in the Bible. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
John Elliott. Okay, so I will go back to the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer says, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Get this, lead us not into temptation. I'm going to say it again. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever and ever. So yeah,
So you saying God is good and evil? I just
God
want to
is
clear
all
something.
things, brother. God is all, brother. He's in all.
What?
Yeah, you
Where
never
you?
read
What
Isaiah?
scripture says that? What scripture says that?
Hold
What
on, let
scripture
me
says that?
hold on. I'm gonna go to it right now for you. Give me a
No
second.
scripture says that. No scripture says that. What?
No scripture.
Bro, like, all I'm gonna say, Johnny, is if it says word from word that God is always good, what do that mean? God is a just God. Yes, He chastises the one that He loves. Yes, but He will never tell you to do something evil against what His will is. That's not God. That's another something in your head. Like no cap. That's
Yeah, I
something
think
else.
yeah, that's what you're thinking that I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
I'm no,
saying
I'm not saying what I think. I'm saying something that I know.
okay,
Like
yeah, that no,
I dealt
you're
like I'm gonna be honest with you. I dealt with saying having certain other things in my head. Now that you're a part of the Lord, you can have both now. But you decide to listen to the Lord, bro. Like literally, like everybody has those type of thoughts where they want to do something bad. Yes, because they upset. Yes, but the fact that you saying that the Lord is that thought is crazy, bro. Like just like what Homeboy said with the drill in Chicago, like
so tell me
the Lord
about
is
Job. That
the
so did
Lord
the
is not
Lord
in that other
so
person telling you to do a drill, bro.
so did the Lord
Let's be real, bro.
so did the
That's a
Lord
demon. That's a
so
demon.
did the
That's a whole
Lord
demon.
allow Job to go through that suffering? Did he let the
Yes.
devil go on? Okay. Okay, so what I'm saying is I'm not saying verbatim. And this is where you're getting misconstrued. So you got to hold your horses and ask a question. Some better questions. I'm
Okay,
not
better question. Okay.
saying that
I
God is
receive
going
that.
to tell you to kill anybody. That's
I
not what
receive
I'm
that.
saying. I said don't lead me into a situation that's there. I pray I don't get led into that type of situation. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I will do something. I'm not saying that God will tell somebody to do something like that. I'm saying anybody could make a mistake at any given moment in any situation, depending on the circumstances.
Okay.
Anybody can. That's what I'm saying. And you're
Amen. Amen.
misunderstanding me. Now I'm gonna go to
Okay.
Isaiah
Go ahead, go ahead.
47. I'm gonna go to Isaiah 45, verse 7. It says, I form, it says, let me back up. I'm gonna go right here. It says, I am the Lord, and there is no other. I form the light and create darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, do all these things. So when I look at verses like that, I know that for one, ultimately God is in control, and for
Right. Okay.
two,
Yes.
and for
Yes.
two, He is the He is the only one. He is the only one who can who can have any form of justification for any harm that he wants to that he causes. He's the only one that gets that pass is God. Not me, not anybody else. And that's a problem now because a lot of us think that well, God's allowing this, so you know, he's a bad God. No. Hold on, baby, hold on. No, at the end of the day, God's the only one that gets the pass. He's the only one. And he can
But my
still
thing, but my thing is that God is not in the business of hurting you. He's he's gonna let you allow you go through struggle and pain, but he's not the one that takes it away and be like, okay, now you gotta struggle and go with pain. There's evil in the world because of Adam and Eve, bro. Because we disobeyed the Lord. Now it's sin in the world by default, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We go there's a way that you have to go to for the Lord for it to be a breakthrough or you to get free or to have any type of belief system because there's sin in the world. So you now You overcome it. You overcome the evil one by going to the Lord. Like the Lord is not evil and bad, bro. Like I don't know who taught you that, but that's not that's not true.
Yeah, what I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, God is the only one who gets to define what's good and what's evil. Not me, not what I think, not how I want to
True,
go
true,
about
true,
things. He is
true.
the only one. So if he want to go out and wipe a nation, he's still good. Why? Because he's God. He's the one that created me. So what do I look like? The one that who is created to say to the creator, "Hey, what you're doing is wrong." He knows all
Now,
things. He
now,
knows
Capiche, for
everything.
Capiche,
There's
now for
nothing. You know
context.
what I'm saying?
Hold on,
It's
hold on, hold on,
so
hold on.
so
You
so.
go
Hold on.
first.
No, 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 no,
Johnny,
no.
hold,
Don't
no,
cut me
Johnny,
off.
hold
Don't
on,
cut me
bro.
off. Let me
I know
finish.
I'm not trying to cut you
Let me
off,
finish. That's
but
what
you
you are
lost too
doing.
fast at it.
That's what you're doing. So
Go ahead, go ahead.
who am I to say to the creator, to say to the creator, hey, what you're doing right now is wrong. Who am I to say that to him? Just because he wiped
It's
out
not
a nation, just because he did this, just because that doesn't make him evil. That makes him God. Period. That's what
Oh,
that makes him. And that's who he is to me.
Got you, got you. For context, Capiche, he's talking about that God is the author of life and death. So he can give life, he can take away life. That's what he's saying. Not saying that he'll literally kill you or whatever, but it's the fact that he can, depending on if you're in his will or not. And if he feels like you can um give out his plan if and if your mercy and your grace ran out. That's what it's really boils down to. But the thing is with this case is yes, this boy made a mistake. But the thing is he can get redemption from it, yes. But consequences need to be had. There's consequences in every situation. You can't tell me that if I slapped somebody and somebody else seen it and not a guy is on the floor, saying whether it hurt or not, but he going outrageously crying and weeping and stuff like that. So now I already prayed up to him in the bathroom. Now they put me in jail just because I slapped a white man. I deserve that, whether I felt like it wasn't that serious or not. I deserve that because it is consequences for me getting out of character and not having self control
So
and
you
not
believe
having
in
emotional
reparations then?
intelligence.
So you believe
No,
black
I don't
people
care
should
about
get
that. I'm telling you,
reparations?
no, I'm telling you something simple. I'm saying
No, I'm just
simple.
I'm just saying. So you believe black people should get reparations?
I don't care for that, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
me
I don't
either. I
care.
say no.
Right. You don't, but you would care. But if something was to happen to you unjustly, you may want some justice to be done. You may want consequences,
Yes,
but I
if it's
guess
unjust, if it's unjust,
yeah.
but
So was
just and
slavery
unjust are
unjust or
different.
was it just?
It was right because of what we did
Okay,
in the
well, all right,
past.
you got it. I don't want to talk no more. Then you said it was right. Slavery was right. Nothing was wrong with it. You
was
cool?
legal.
Yep, it was totally right.
Can I
Nothing
can I
was
can I finish,
wrong
Johnny?
with it, huh?
Can I finish,
It
Johnny?
was
Can I finish?
legal. Slavery is still legal in some countries today as we speak.
Does that
So
make
you
it
don't
right?
hear no,
Does it
but you
make it
don't.
right?
It must be right because there's no
No,
outlaw.
there is no must. We
Okay,
know
so
it's
Johnny,
not
can I
right.
finish? Can I finish? Can I finish, Johnny? I'm gonna tell you why. So in the Bible, right, it says that no man should be able to be able to slave somebody else, right? The Lord was against that fully, but it's in there to show you that it wasn't just happening to black people. It was in there to show you that white people was slaving other white people too, whether they was conquered by another white person or conquered by them by the when they was in war, whatever situation it was, there was slavery. But God was against that. Nobody should be owning anybody else. But because they disobeyed the Lord, things happen spiritually that they go through because they did disobey. And now that type of sin is in the world, and we had to go through it. because of what our ancestors did in the back in the past. They didn't obey God. So now we had to, but it wasn't right. But it had to happen. It had to happen.
So
And
you
it wasn't just
saying,
us. It wasn't just us that was going through slavery, bro.
okay, but we're talking about us right now. So at the end of the day, you believe that we don't need reparations. You say that if someone was to kill or, you know, murder somebody, murder somebody else, they
Yeah,
deserve consequences, right? If they would have
right,
raped someone, they deserve consequences. But when that
right.
happened in slavery, it was okay, because for it was back then, one, and for two, I don't know why. To be honest with you, I can't even think of a reason as to why you would say that it's not okay. I mean, the reason that you just gave now was not good at all.
Legal.
It
Um,
wasn't.
Legal. It was
rather it was
legal.
legal. Okay, so if raping women is legal today, would you go out and do it?
No.
No.
Morally,
Okay,
no.
right. So,
Morally, no. No,
but
because
if
my
they
morals
made it
attached to it.
illegal tomorrow, would that be right, or that would be something that's right? Correct. So we're talking about the mistreatment of slaves. Now I guarantee you, and this is a joke that I'll be cracking. I
Okay,
guarantee
I'm
you,
listening.
if America treated slaves right, meaning they didn't mistreat them or whatever the case may be, we probably wouldn't even be having this talk right now. And that's just the
Do you know
God's
that?
honest truth. If they
Do you know what
probably
that's
treated
called
them right,
in the
we
Bible?
probably
You
wouldn't
know
be
what that's
having
called
this
in the
talk.
Bible? Do you know what that's called in the Bible?
What is it called?
A slave that was treated good. It is called something fortitude person. If you get what I'm trying to say, where
No, I
the
don't.
person was owned by somebody else, but they was not getting paid or anything, but they was treated good. They was fed and all of that, but they had to work for that person and do whatever that person say. But he owned that person and he didn't get paid for it. That's still a slave too.
Stop clapping like that.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
unfamiliar with that. But even if that was the case, like I said, if they didn't get mistreated, he probably wouldn't even be talking right now. He probably wouldn't even be having this conversation. And as far as what God does, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, like, if God wants to do something, if he wants to kill somebody, he can kill him and it be justified. Why? Because he's God.
God
At the
doesn't
end of the
kill. He
day,
takes it like you not
I
quoting it
mean,
right.
if he
Like
want to
you
do it, he
take
could
somebody's
do it.
life.
I
No, I'm
mean,
saying
it's
like you
not
take
about
take
how
somebody's
it's
life
quoted. It's
and say
about
your
the
time is
man.
up. Yes.
He does. He
If he
does.
even if he
It's
wanted
all
if he
about
want
the
to kill, take
message.
someone, whatever you want to call it, he can do
Yes.
whatever he wants to do.
You too. All right,
It
y'all.
don't matter. He could do whatever he want to do. This is his
Johnny.
house.
Johnny
I
E.
need to. If you do that, if you kill somebody, I need to know why.
I'm not killing nobody.
I'm just saying,
I don't
anybody,
plan on it. I
anybody. I
don't
need to know the
plan.
context behind it. I need to know the reason. I need to know everything because sometimes it might be just.
See, I don't see. That's the thing. That's what
Let's say
makes
it
us
right
judges
back.
in our. That's what happened in the garden. You know what I'm saying? The
Hey,
uh the
we,
the the snake said we would know good and evil. We'll be just like God. And that's the same thing that cripples us today. We think we know what's right and what's wrong. We think we could judge that. Cool.
we made laws to obey by. And with that,
True.
we out.
This motherfucker is locked.
I'm loving, baby.